Supercharger. Alright. What's up, guys, girls, toasters, whatever you identify as? How's it going? We'll be all inclusive here. Hey, toast is the best part of any breakfast, so thank you, toasters out there. Anyways. So, it's been a little bit. Just update you before we get into it. Finished up my alternator. This is the transmission harness. Still need to finish up that. I got to pull it back through, fix a couple things, do that firewall plug, since that's the inside harness as well. But I did that, and yeah, I've been mostly waiting for parts to show up, and I just got poly bushings. Can't really see in there, but poly bushings for that shake that we talked about at the end of the last video. I got some switches for the lights because I realized I only have one switch. It's not gonna do it, considering I'm gonna have forward pod lights, reverse pod lights, and fogs and flood. And let's show off those a bit. I just got those yesterday and just threw them up there real quick. Still need to be wired, but they are bright. I'll throw up a picture right here. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Oh, and I got some used but new to me tires, and tried to hide this throughout the last videos. I had 31s on the front and 32s on the back, and 32s are the tire size I like for this truck, so they're finally all matching. And dash stuff. I know the dash isn't in, but got that wideband, my tacks on there. Truck hasn't had a horn since I put in that cheap Grant wheel, so horn button. This is where I'm going to put my boost gauge, and it's a little deep, so it's probably going to hit that. I don't mind drilling a hole, but I don't want to drill a circle because those vents are not enough space between there. So yeah, here's the boost gauge I got, and to space it out, I got to cut this down a little bit. It's not going to be that much, obviously, but just a piece of exhaust pipe, and essentially that, but shorter. I don't mind it sticking off the dash a little bit. It's not going to interfere with anything. And then, yeah, I've never had a ashtray, nor do I smoke, so I got that for those switches that just came in. I just drilled the pilot holes. Now I can drill them to the right size. But I like this aluminum I used. It's kind of got this rib texture, a little worn. Same with that. It's the same piece of metal. It's actually part of my ladder over there. The top step broke off, and then I just had this piece of aluminum, and I thought that looked cool to make these plates for the dash. And oh yeah, here's the other plug. Kind of stole this off the Frontier harness, repinned it with, didn't have all the right wire colors, but similar enough colors to the wires that are in here. And that's, the other half of that's wired into this harness. But that is for my boost, evap canister, and air temp sensors. So it's not all that important. I mean, I know it's a uninsulated waterproof connector on the outside. I don't really care that much. Nissan used it here anyways. That's the factory one. They just shoved some grease and dielectric grease in there. I might do the same thing if I care. Those sensors aren't super important considering it's running and they're not even plugged in. So yeah, got that. And yeah, like I said, not a whole lot's been done, just waiting on parts mostly. I did get my license plate lights came in. it's just these guys, just little single LEDs. And yeah, I can also show you a picture of those right here. Pretty bright for the single little LEDs. A little bluish, but that's cool. I mean, theme of this truck is like red with blue accents, kinda black and blue accents as my cheapo headrest covers and toe mounts or toe hooks, air filter, random stuff I'd painted underneath, idler arm bracket. So yeah, I think it'll work. So today, what I gotta do is, last night I finally got my butt kicked into gear cleaning up that wiring. That's why that harness is done. I needed to do that so I knew where those plugs landed so that I could pull this back through. And I have a starter wire I have to fix, and obviously the big mess that's on the inside. So I'm gonna get started on that. Oh, other thing, I wired my starter through my neutral position switch just because I like having the shifter in neutral to start it instead of the clutch engage. I think that makes more sense to me. However, go figure, the neutral switch on the transmission is dead, doesn't work. And yeah, I sold the transmission with the other spare neutral switch, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's good I'm selling a transmission with working stuff on it, but it sucks that I literally got rid of the part I needed it. And I don't think that's a part you can easily just come by without trying to pull it out of a junkyard, and that's not easy to get to in the car or truck. So anyways, we're gonna get into it, start this wiring process. One more good look. God, this thing's getting cool. Alright guys, I've been at this all day and you can't really tell. It looks just as messy as ever. Granted, the engine harness is also in here, so, well, not engine harness, but engine bay, fuse to battery, relay box. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's a crappy thing about wiring. You could be working at it all day and nothing looks any different. But do have the check engine OBD2 port connector. Only thing that's not hooked up is the check engine light, which I'm not going to bother with right now because it's just going to be constantly on until I eventually figure out how to trick the ECU to thinking all the emission stuff is happy. And then the other part I have wired in is yeah, this plug, the one I added for the supercharger bypass valve, the air temp switch, and the sorry, a little bit slow wiring's, I'm brain dead. And yeah, that other solenoid over there, evap canister. And yeah, so I've got that connected a few other wires in here that needed to be connected, fixed my starter, reset up my fuses, kind of made that a little bit more final. And yeah, we're almost there. Honestly, I think I'm basically to the point where I could start taping everything up and cleaning it up. I think I'm at that point. But it just started raining. It's getting dark. Can't really tell on camera, but I'm starting to run out of light to see. So I'm gonna have to continue this tomorrow. And yeah, gotta love wiring. Tedious process, but I'm sick of looking at it. Needs to get done. So we'll get back at this in the morning. Alright, so whole nother day's gone by. I didn't do any filming today yet, so just a whole day of wiring, at least for what daylight we do have, which isn't much. So yeah, I got that pulled back out. I haven't cleaned up this wiring yet, but I did get this wiring done. Let's get this light from blinding us. My little work light. So yeah, got the ECU tucked up there. It's gonna go behind the intermediate box, and yeah, got the rest of it done. Got my fuse block, and that's all done. I'm just about to throw the heater core back in it to kind of hold it all in place, make sure I got my clearance, and then that way tomorrow I'll be ready to, well, I may or may not do it tomorrow, but basically I got to make a actual mount to hold that against the firewall. Oh, and lights out. There we go. But yeah, I got to make a mount for the ECU to actually hold that up. Luckily I got 2 little screw holes down there for the optional AC, which this truck definitely doesn't have, thank God. Otherwise fitting all this would be that much more of a headache. So I've just been freezing all day. For some reason it's especially cold today, so yeah, I'm gonna get this blower motor in, and I don't know if I'm gonna do too much more tonight, but we'll see. One step at a time. All right. Gosh, it's gonna be really nice when I'm working on the next project and it actually just fits in the garage and I don't have to leave the door open or do it outside. So that'll be really nice. I'm looking forward to that because it's been like on and off raining all day, and the truck was pulled apart so I couldn't drive it in. The wiring was all hacked up from yesterday, and yeah, so just kind of dealing with shoving myself in the cab and trying to do wiring while it's raining, and then when I get a break in the rain, I'll hop out of the truck and then do it standing up. So my legs are sore, I'm freezing. I'm ready to be done for the day, but I want to get as much finished up as I can. Getting all that wiring was a feat because I don't think I've touched a single splice today. It's just been figuring out how to route it and wrapping it up and making it look nice. So yeah, and undoing it once and redoing it because I didn't like the first way I did it. All right, scratch that. Got the blower motor in, and I totally forgot I got a piece of mesh that I wanted to put on top, but that requires cutting, figuring out how to attach it, you know, painting this because, well, it's not rusty, but it might become rusty. I don't know. Anyways, and I'm not doing that tonight. It is getting too late and it's too cold, and 2 days of wiring. I'm pretty dead. So yeah, and actually, nope, thought I noticed a broken wire. Literally just standing here staring at my MAF plug. Thought that was broken. Just a dead pin. Yeah, that's how I know I've been doing this too long. So I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, kind of hard to get a lot filmed for you guys. This is just like I said before, the tedious 10% that's 90% of the work, and none of it's really fun to film or show. It doesn't seem like a lot of progress, but it's taking a lot of time to get there. So yeah, I may wrap up this video here and start again tomorrow on another video for you guys. Try and get a decent amount filmed for, you know, a week. That might make enough for something. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. So that being said, so you don't have to listen to me ramble, peace out, YouTube. Have a good one. See you next week.